So, Louis, this is just going to be a bit of a chat about our end of season awards coming up on the 1st of May. It's the 17th end of season awards that we've had in the club's history, and you've been part of all 17 of them. So this is just a bit of a chat to talk about maybe some of the memories in the past, the upcoming one on the 1st of May, and just to really get your insights and thoughts, because it is a special time for sponsors, special time for fans. So let's start with, I suppose, your memories over the last 17 years. Is there anything that stands out for you as a player, whether it's right at the beginning or in the last few years or so?
Yeah, I think the ones where you have successful seasons always helps the event. I think because knowing the team doing well helps, and it's a feel-good factor around the club. But if there was one that sprung to mind, it was after the relegation of 2016. Did we go down that year?
Right. Yeah.
Sort of the Robbie Dan sort of year, sort of thing, and we did not want it to go because obviously you got relegated and it's embarrassing, and all the other feelings that you have, and then. I remember the chairman doing a speech, and I remember one of the sponsors got up. I can't remember who it was, and I think it might have been a lady from the lawyer firm, and she got up and just said, we're not leaving, we're here for the long run. Kind of like a real rallying cry of sort of no matter what happens, we're part of the club, and next year will be better. And it actually ended up being a really good evening, one that I was dreading going to. Yeah. That actually come away with some positivity, because you don't always get to interact with people around the club or that sort of stuff, and it was a real sort of eye opener to sort of the spirit and the support that you have that you probably don't realise sometimes.
I didn't think that was gonna be the one you said, because it's, I suppose, from a player's angle or from a fan's angle, you want to come along to the ones where we're going to get promoted, or we are promoted, or there's a chance, and it's just there's a real buzz around the place, as there is this year. But that just shows the support that we've got here. It's not just about the good times, it's about when we're down in the dumps and we need that support. We do have that support.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's we've got a real core sort of loyal fan base that always come out and support, and when you do well, that always increases. But when it goes the other way, there's always the people that are always there. And I think as a player, that's what sort of sticks out, is that during the bad times, there's always those people that willing to sort of step forward and support you, and sort of stick their neck out when it's sometimes not popular to sort of to do that, and I think that probably means the most.
I want to talk about last year, because last year was our first virtual awards. I was asked to, I don't know why, but I was asked to present one, and I'll be honest, I was extremely nervous because it was the first time I'd done anything like this. But how did it feel, for starters, to find out you'd won Player of the Season for the first time? I think you'd won Players Player in the past. I think we spoke about this, but to actually be recognised by the fans after all that time, where, without being funny, your consistency and your performances have been like that for years. So how did it feel to finally win the award in a year that was like no other?
Yeah, it was a real. I remember Ant messaged me to say you won an award.
Sorry, Ant's
yeah, and I just assumed I'd won sort of, I don't know, best tackle, or most or longest at the club award or something like that. And then Ant said, no, it's a really good one. It was like, I can't tell you, but it's a really good one. And then obviously I was really surprised. It was a real shock sort of thing to win it. And it means a lot. It's like, it's every game you're always getting judged by the fans, good or bad. Everyone always has an opinion. And it's nice after 46 games for them to sort of say that, we think you've done all right and that you played, the best out of the team is a real nice acknowledgement, and it's something very special.
I'm smiling away because it's just, I remember a comment you said literally right afterwards. You went, the one year when no one came to watch any football, I win Player of the Season. But actually, on the flip side of that, you probably got more people at home, during that time watching on iFollow and actually really seeing how good you were that season, and you've carried it on, and coming into this season, it wouldn't surprise me if you were there or thereabouts again. So how have you felt sort of this season, and with only a few games left now? Not what your chances are, obviously, of winning the award again, but that'd be amazing. But what, how have you felt your performances have been this season?
Yeah, I think I've done okay. I think the whole team as a whole has done pretty well, and I think obviously, I'm sort of a cog in that sort of team. So I think I've done well. There's games where I'd like to have done better, of course, and some games were disappointed with what I've done. But on the whole, I think I've done all right, and I think that sort of position suits me. I think I've just been playing that position for the last 15 years. If we'd have played a free, I'd have swept up a long time ago. So it's just something that really suits me in the way the team plays. Over the last couple of years, it's just sort of really fell into place with how I play, and so it suits me and it sort of suits the team.
Very modest. Off camera, he would say I should have won it every year for the last 70. But anyway, the last time we had a proper awards, shall we say, was the year we got promoted from League 2 to League 1. And, for those of you that remember it, that was a good few years ago, 18, 19. And it was a hell of a night. And I wasn't there, but from all the reports of the evening, it was a hell of a night. What can you remember from that night, for starters? And was there anyone in particular that you thought, Jesus Christ, never am I drinking with him again?
It was good. Obviously, we won promotion on the Saturday, had a night out Saturday evening, and then met down the Broughton, down the local on the Sunday. Took the boys down there. Russ kindly put his card behind the bar.
Hang on a minute. Should we stop there and talk about that? A whole new question. He actually put his card behind. Okay, interesting.
He initially said he'd buy everyone a drink, but Ryan Hardy told everyone that it was a free bar, and so Russ got stung with most of the night. And then we just turned out to the evening. But it was a real good event. I think everyone, obviously, promotion the previous day. The boys were in good spirits, and that nice sort of connection. I think, as I spoke about previously, the year before when we went down, is always a bit worried. But that team that year was not the best team, but it connected with the fans quite well. They had some popular figures in that team, and it was a popular team, and it was a good night. I think did Gilbs win? I think Gilbs won the award, but there's a picture of Gilbs.
Hang on, should we talk about Gilbs? Because I've actually put it down on my notes. There's a video that went round shortly afterwards of Gilbs pouring drink down himself. Is that right? I
think he had a boot on because he didn't play the last few games with his crutches. He's got his shirt hanging out, half an eye dropped off somewhere. But it was a good evening, and it was one that sort of the boys spent here. Sometimes after the awards, people sort of shoot off and whatever, but it was one where everyone sort of stayed together, and it was a good night.
I mean, we hope to think that's going to be the same this year, kind of thing, and we'll touch upon that in a minute. I mean, I want to talk about memories in the past, and one memory in particular that I remember was an incident. I want to say it was the year we got promoted when Delhi won Players Player of the Year, and I just vividly remember our sponsor for that award was a lady called Gwen Mann. It was Gwen and Jim Mann, and she came on stage, and I'm pretty sure you remember what happened, but Delhi was standing there and she stacked it on stage. She stacked, and by the way, they're sponsoring the award again, so it didn't put her off. And as a trooper, she just stood up and cracked on, almost got the biggest cheer of the night. It was one of the funniest moments of my time on the awards. But the best bit about it for me was Delhi. Delhi was standing right there. He just pointed and laughed. Do you remember it?
I do remember it. Yeah, I remember. I think I was front row, to be fair.
Did you help?
No, I was. I think Delhi was showing me where she fell. Yeah, fair play to Gwen. She got straight up and took it all in her stride and sort of laughed it off. But yeah, Del didn't help her out too much, did he, with that?
I mean, to be fair, Gwen and Jim Mann are seasonal ticket holders up in Club Platinum. They come week in, week out. They love it. But let's just put it down to the wine on the night for Gwen. But we look forward to having them back, of course, this year. I've got, again, on my notes, something I mentioned to you before, talking about sort of past awards. And you can be as brutal as you want, because I know you'll be honest, off camera. But is there anyone in the past that, throughout the season, has done well, but has come to the end of the season and won an award, and you've gone, how the hell's he won that? And without being disrespectful, sometimes you have an opinion on your team, on your squad, on your players. And when someone comes out with an award, you go, what's happened there? Is there anything that stands out for you?
There was, I suppose, the year that we went up to the Championship was, obviously it was sort of Delhi's year. He was sort of like the standout player, the goals and assists, and he's moved to Tottenham, so we assumed it was like a shoo-in that Delhi would win player of the year. I mean, he was head and shoulders best player in the team. And I think Carl Baker won it that year. And I think Bakes had joined in, I want to say October or November, but he joined a bit late to the party. And then he'd done brilliant breaks, and he was a great player. I'm not taking it away. He was a really good player, Bakes. But when he got called, I think even he was a bit surprised that he'd won it, because it was just it wasn't that Carl didn't deserve it. It was just that Delhi was so prominent that year. And I don't know whether maybe because Del had signed for Tottenham that people sort of viewed him as possibly that he wasn't sort of.
I would say, sorry for jumping in, but I would say that Carl was on a match day itself was the one that got people really off their seats. Like Delhi done his assists and his goals were outstanding, and you could tell he was the best player. Yeah. But sometimes Carl would do things that, the chop, then the chop again. And as a teammate would be frustrating at times. So that's probably why you think, it can be frustrating. But as a fan, I'm sure that's why he voted. Obviously, he used to tweet loads and speak to the fans all the time, but we won't go into that. But I suppose that's the stand-up. Is there anyone else in particular that you can think of? Or what about the other way? Let's think. Did you win an award? I'm absolutely flabbergasted that I never won an award, apart from top goal scorer twice. But apart from that,
I'd have been amazed if you won an award. So that'd have been my.
Right, let's go on to the next question then. Right. So who didn't win an award that you were flabbergasted by that never won an award?
It's got to be you, I think. I suppose. I can't believe.
No, be serious. Obviously, I was never the best player in the squad. So, is there anyone? I know I've got a name in mind that I would like to say, but I'll let you go first.
They're normally the players that the ones that the players like playing with that normally don't sometimes get recognised. I think Potsy did win though when he first came. I think his first season he won, and then after that everyone
Anthony's nodding away behind.
And then everyone realised the next year that was a level, and it was so hard for Potsy because he was so consistent. It was just like but you couldn't remember how good he actually was. Like that, his level was supremely high. I can't remember anyone there's always good team players. I think Alan Navarro always springs to mind, like from the early years. He was maybe didn't get the recognition he deserved, but no, boys loved playing with him because he was just to do all the dirty work and the hard work, and that would maybe not get the recognition he deserved. Casey probably fits into that back a little bit underappreciated in terms of what he actually did. Apart from that, I can't remember too many feeling. Obviously myself. I
was waiting for you to be like your modest self and say. I mean, I can't believe I never won an award, but we won't go into that. I mean, top goal scorer twice weren't too bad, but I maybe got second in Community Ambassador of the Year award, but then Dave Martin took me on that one as well. He always used to win that one. But Potsy was literally at the tip of my tongue. I mean, you're saying he won the first year, but year in, year out. I mean, he had a year where he sort of suffered a few injuries and stuff like that, but then we realised how important he was in the team. And there'll be players in this team, and we'll move on to this year. And, without giving too much away, because there is a Players Player of the Year award, but it's always good to hear individuals' opinion, especially ones that are in and around it day in, day out like you are. Who or what players are really stepping up this year, but maybe not like the ones that everyone always says, but from your opinion, like you play with so many players, what players are really standing out for you?
Yeah, I think obviously apart from the obvious, the boys that sort of get the normal headlines, the obvious one would be Warren for me. He gets every week. You know what you're going to get. Like he's 100%. He's a lot better on the ball than he looks sometimes. Like he's real comfortable on the ball. He's good at passing. He's a good defender. He wins his headers. He's a really good lad. Off the scenes, he trains like an absolute trooper. Like just everything you'd want from a professional is what was like. He is just one of them just solid stand-up blokes that just sort of gets on with it. But then you have H doing step overs next to him, and H gets the plaudits of of what he does. But I'd say Woz is sort of in that ilk of the people that you want, like the soldiers in the trenches next year. Like you definitely want Woz next year.
I'm glad you said that, and I'm hoping that he gets recognition. Yeah, he deserves, because we'll be talking next year and we'll be going, who hadn't won an award that Warren O'Hara, because he has been outstanding. He just goes under the radar without being funny, a little bit like yourself. You know, over the years, just 7, 8 out of 10, probably 9 out of 10 every single week. And Warren just falls into that category for me too. And I think young player, because there's a couple of awards. I'm going to run through some of the sponsors and some of the awards just quickly in a minute. But Tanai for me, since coming in has been outstanding, and he seems to be like learning quite a lot as we go along as well. So, especially from like two people at different ends of the spectrum, you know, how's T doing for you?
Yeah, he started the season really well, and he hadn't played for a long time at Reading. He had sort of like a stop-start season there, and so his fitness was always a little bit of an issue at the start, just because of what previously had gone on, and so it took a while for him to get up to speed. And at that point, Pete come in, and Pete had done really well, but T had done well as well, but Pete was sort of hitting the ground running, and you sort of had that on, like one game on, one game off sort of thing. But T always played really well when he did play. I think since January he's stepped up again, but I think now we're seeing the benefit of having him 6 months of conditioning and training. You're sort of seeing the real T now, and he's a really good player. Technically, he's really good. He's got a good engine, and he just does everything well. And he's another good character that does his job and just gets on with it. And it's been pleasing to see him to do so well. So he's such a nice kid.
I needed to write all this down because I can't remember all the awards, I'll be perfectly honest. But we, sponsored by obviously our club partners in Plumbing and Gas Solution the whole evening, and sponsoring our player of the season, who we kind of like briefly spoken about. I don't want to sort of go on too much about who you think, because it might maybe be giving something away. But Plumbing and Gas Solutions are obviously sponsoring that award. Goal of the season, we might touch upon that in a minute. Papa John's are sponsoring that award. Our lovely Gwen and Jim Mann are doing our Players Player of the Year award again. Team performance, sponsored by Bid Food. I will just ask you briefly about that afterwards. But we've got awards like Chairman's Award, Women's Player of the Season, Media Personality, Disability Award, or Player of the Year, Academy Player of the Year, Community Ambassador, which I was so close to winning one year, and the MKDSA's Young Player of the Season. So we've got loads and loads and loads to look forward to. It's going to be a long evening because that's a lot of awards, but it's a special evening as well, isn't it? Because it really does focus on the best in those areas, but also celebrates the team. But I want to get a little bit serious now, because there are some, I mean, I'm smiling, but there are some awards that haven't quite made the cut, and I need to get your opinion on some of them. So please be honest, because I know you're a very honest guy. But who's the worst to be around on a night out?
You know what, because of COVID, we've not really sampled everyone's.
I said be honest.
It's going to be either Twiney or Dan Harvey. Those two are going to be. Twiney's just going to be Twiney's just going to he's just going to be chirping. He's going to be in your ear, chirping, and Dan's going to be on the other end of the scale. He's going to be turning to the angry Scotsman. And
is he the angry one on the night out? Is he?
He's angry. You see when I say he makes me look like a little puppy dog. He's he likes to voice his opinion, Danny. Yeah.
So quick fire then. Worst dressed.
And
you can't say yourself.
God, he's worst dressed. There's some shockers. I'm going to go for Josh McEachran.
Oh, that's harsh.
He wears those plastic shoes, what are they called? It's those like sandal things.
What are they called?
Do you know what I mean?
What, like people wear on the beach and that? Yeah. He wears them to training?
Almost like clog sort
of. Oh dear.
Yeah.
And he wears them in front of people?
Actually, yeah. I don't think he drives in. Sometimes he actually comes public transport, which is... I'm not sure it's allowed.
Right, yeah. Josh McEachran then for... We'll have to find out what those... I know what they are. They're like bubble... Crocs. There we go, Crocs. Oh dear. In public as well. They're like yellow as well or something like that.
Yeah, he's got a white... He's got a few pairs to be fair.
He's got more than one. Worst hairstyle?
Probably H, just because he doesn't have that much hair to style.
Receding, what is he, 22, 23, something like that? Oh dear, he's 2
haircuts away.
He's struggling. Least intelligent and most intelligent?
Least intelligent probably be probably Jay Bird. Oh. Yeah, I don't think he actually knows his name sometimes. I think Jay. You have to wait till about 1:30 till he warms up. Like in the morning, he's just discount him. Most intelligent. It's a pretty.
I mean, the fact you're struggling.
Jamie seems quite intelligent. He doesn't speak a lot. That might be why. But he seems pretty. He seems pretty intelligent. Yeah, he seems pretty intelligent. Yeah.
I mean, he's on loan, isn't he? So he's probably learnt somewhere else. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you would be up there, wouldn't you? Most intelligent, but I know you wouldn't say it. And probably worse hairstyle, and probably worse dress. So you're right there for a lot of stuff. Is there any strange rituals on a match day that fans would like to know about?
No, there's individual ones that the boys.
They used to have some weird ones.
Oh, no, there's nothing that weird. Stretching. We have a little huddle before we go out, but there's nothing. I don't think I've seen anyone do anything particularly mad.
And then you might be able to help with this one, Anthony, behind the camera, if anyone wants to know. Worst, because you don't really do social media, but worst on social media? Because this wouldn't have been a question 10 years ago, so who's the most annoying?
Yeah, so I'll stay away from it. Who is Ant?
Because there's always one at there. I mean, Bakes won an award off it.
Laurie. He'd post like if he changed his pair of trainers, he'd put it on social media. That kid, he was unbelievable. Yeah, Laurie. Yeah, we have fines for social media's unacceptable social media posts. I think Laurie's done about 200 or 300 quid in fines. Yeah. Wazza did one, unfortunately, because I never am down for that, but was posted a picture of him in the gym, looking all sultry, like looking away from the camera with like a weight in his hand, with a bit of, in black and white, with a bit of sweat on the arm and that, which was, and his shorts pulled up, which I thought, yeah. But he's learned his lesson.
How much the fine?
£20. But he's learnt his lesson on that. He just posts about his dog or something now. I think he does. So.
Laurie Walker. Okay. I mean, I have to ask because there's so many on social media now, and it's like I know you're not very much involved in that, but yeah, active on social media, which you need to be, by the way, because there will come a day where you'll need to. No. But look, we'll wrap it up there. I think we've touched upon some moments in the past. This one's going to be hopefully an evening that we're celebrating something, and I think it's really important to just reiterate it's not just about the sponsors, it is for the fans as well, and we put on this event for them. You know, it's not a profit building exercise, it's not something whereby we're trying to gain anything. This is to celebrate you guys, to celebrate the support, celebrate not just the men's team, the women's team, disability football, young player of the year from the academy, and I think it's a real special evening that as a player I used to enjoy. Hayley used to come along as well, and it was just something that I loved as a player. But we're trying to make sure that it's accessible for everyone. And so is there a message that you want to send out to all of the fans? Because ultimately it's about getting them involved, about being in a room, in and around people, outside of their habitat, their natural habitat. So is there a message from Mr. MK himself to every fan out there that wants to come along on a night?
Just that, if you'd like to come, you're welcome. There's no barriers or separation. We're all mixing as one. And as you said, it's one club with the various teams, the women's, disability, the young ones. And we're all there to celebrate the club as a whole, but also the individuals of that. And it's whether you've been coming for a year or 10 years, it's just a real good event. Normally, good people there. It's a chance to kind of have fun and be involved. Everyone's got talk to people and share your opinions and your experiences of the club and things like that. And it's just a real good chance for everyone to get together. And I think it's good, like you said, for us as the men's team sometimes to appreciate the wider work that the club does, because obviously we're sort of focused on our bit, but then you come to these awards and there's you hear about all the other stuff that goes on behind the scenes that sometimes we're not privy to, and it's a real good opportunity to thank those people as well, that especially sometimes the volunteers that come and do that kind of stuff that don't get the recognition. So come along, can have some fun, have a couple of drinks and have a good time.
Well said, my friend. 1st of May, co-host, would you believe, 1st of May, please go onto the website www.mkdons.com and get involved, because I really got a great feeling about this one, that it's going to be a proper celebration. So thank you very much, mate. Cheers.